Hello guys, Arj here and welcome back to the third episode of Minecraft Cubik model making. I'm calling this differently every time, aren't I? So yeah, we're basically making a model for Minecraft, and this is what we've got right here. We've got a house, but our house needs a little bit of texture. It needs to have a wooden base, is what I'm thinking, and maybe a cool blue roof would be very cool. So to start off, let's give this little baby a texture. And if I click the element here, you can see that I've got all these elements here. There's the element list. I got 4 of them, which is true. I've got this one, and this one. And if I select them, then you can see which one it is. I've got 2 7s here. That's because I copied one of them and it keeps the same number. I'll teach you all about that later. So let's basically give the whole thing a texture. So let's double click that, and on my desktop, I've got a few textures here. So let's give this the wood texture, and that makes the whole thing wooden. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. So let's actually add another texture for the roof. We need another one. You can call this texture, but you can also rename it. Edit label or rename texture. I think you can just rename the label and call it roof. Enter, and there it changes here as well. Double click that one to set the texture, and let's do the roof this time. And you see that this is a little bit blue, but as you see, the roof doesn't change because this software here doesn't know that with roof I mean those 2 elements here. But I do that. I know that I want that. So let's highlight those by clicking one of them and then shift, and then clicking the other one as well. We'll select them both, then right click, textures, and then customize, and that will show you every single texture face. What you can also do is you can go right here and click there, which I find a little bit easier because then I don't have to do a thing with separate menus, and this is a little bit more advanced. So I have the option to give the texture here the particle texture, which has to do with what if it is a block and you break it, it has a particle, so you can set that texture as well. I'm not going to do that, but you can. I can also set it to texture, which is currently what I'm having, and that's the wood here. And I can do it to roof. So I want roof. And I can do this for every single one, but I can also highlight up by just clicking it once, Ctrl+C, and then highlighting the other, Ctrl+V. And this way you can do it very, very easily. You can also disable one side. So probably the west, I can disable. You can see it right over there. If I click this, you can disable. It will become totally empty. You probably don't want to do that, but if you do want it, that's how you do it. So now that I've set the textures, I can also do UV mapping. And UV mapping will make this look a little bit better. By the way, as you see, by doing the textures this way, it won't do both. So if you want to do both, you have to do the textures, customize, and do it right here. So pressing OK, will that do it? Yes, it will do it. Okay, so that very quickly did both roofs in the blue texture. Let's actually get those out of the way by just clicking there, and now we can actually see what this looks like. So as you see, the roof here, it's not looking very good, and the base, it looks a little bit pixely, and I don't want that. I want it to look better. How do I do that? Element, once again. For some reason I created another cube. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's quickly delete that by just pressing the delete button. It's that easy. You probably wouldn't have guessed that. And let's do some UV mapping. So let's do the base first, cube 6, and then press the ABC thing right here, which is UV mapping. And it's also says right here, if you're busy with the faces, you could go to UV mapping right away. And what I want to do is I want to make it full because that's easier. So I don't know which side I did. I did up, which is not the best side to do. But as you see, it's now a lot more HD there on the top. I don't know if that's very visible. But I also want to do the front, which is south, as I told you in the first episode. But what I can do is I can press full. And oh, there's another menu here. Wow, I can do the current one, just the south one. If I do that, then it's just the south one, but not the others. It's very hard to see with this very compressed menu, but it doesn't do the others. But I can also just press full and do all. And that makes it very easy if you just want to have a square or another texture with every single side filled. And that will, if you select all of them, you'll see that it is all filled. Very, very good. Now, if I do the same with the roof, let's head to this roof. And I think the top, let's quickly do this for this one as well. And I think the top here, the upside, it's, as I said, it's not, it does not follow the laws of gravity in our world. The panes will fall off. That's not what I want. So I want to rotate it. Luckily, we have these buttons right here, and we have the flip one. So this will flip it, and this will flip it in the other direction. I don't actually know what these do. It is probably to do with copying and pasting, because you can actually have multiple textures per element. I'm going to teach you probably more about that later. But what we want to do is these two. These are the rotating ones. So this way I can rotate the texture. I can also rotate the other way. This is the way I want. Very good. So now the paints won't fall off. Let's do that with the other one as well here. So let's do the full, do them all, and then turn it to the right, to the left. There you go. And now we made this beautiful house. It's beautiful. I'm really proud of it. I'm probably going to export it right after this episode. Anyways, if you enjoyed this little tutorial, I hope you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed it, as always, leave a like, leave a comment, and do everything you want to do. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye!